Hi, I'm Celine Williams, and welcome to Stop, Think, Focus, Execute. I'm one of the coaches and mentors with the Stop, Think, Focus, Execute program. And today, I thought we would interview Phil Bliss, who's the founder of Stop, Think, Focus, Execute, so everyone can get a sense of his story. So Phil, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your business journey?
My business journey began a long time ago. I think the first time that I consciously did the Stop, Think, Focus, Execute was actually when I came over to Canada from Scotland. And first thing that an immigrant finds is that we have to stop, think, focus, execute, because everyone wants to pay you with pittance. And I had a wife and a 3-year-old son, so I wanted to bring decent revenue in. So I flipped back into a role that I had done very well in the UK, which was the recruitment business. And stopping and thinking was, yes, I was going to go back into this business because at least I could get a job there. The focus and execute was, as it always was in that business, that he who works the hardest and longest makes the most money. The result was, I was on a 6-figure income within, 9 months. So I did pretty well.
Well, and a great example of how quickly using the steps of stopping, thinking, focusing, and executing has such a quick impact.
It does.
Stopping and thinking, if you're doing it correctly, you're getting rid of 80% of what you're actually stopping and thinking about, right?
Yeah.
So to what you were just saying about the focusing and executing, when you're in that stage, you've chosen something and you've made options that have narrowed the field.
Obviously I was doing very well. But I hated recruiting. I hated it in the UK, and I hated it here. That's not fair, because there's lots of friends in that business that I know, but it wasn't for me. So it didn't matter how much I was earning, I was going to get out of it. So I have a background in media and communications. So we skewed that into the technology business, which was a great gig in the mid-80s, and seeing as I'm still doing it, it really is still a great gig. and being able to language highly complex products and services into manageable things that people can buy, it's always been a part of my life. So in that sense, that stop and think was probably the most momentous one, because it moved me back into technology, but into the communication side of technology. I would say, at the grand old age of 35, 36, I actually found what I'm really good at.
Since you are still doing it, would you say that you have been focusing and executing more since then as you've built your career and continued?
Not really, because technology has changed so much in the last 30 years that you have to stop and think on a regular basis, because stuff that you were making money from, 3 years ago vanishes. There's been some fairly radical shifts in those 30 years. So unless you could stop and think and radically shift your focus, both market focus and product focus, it overtakes you.
So then tell me a little bit about what that has meant for you and your business over the past 30 years.
What I'd rather do is take you to what happens when you don't stop and think.
Perfect.
And funnily enough, that's associated with my most successful venture, which was in the late 90s. So we grew the company up to, about mid-40 million kind of thing, which was, and we grew it in 5 years to that. So that was pretty cool.
It's impressive.
Yeah. So I stepped out of that business, sold it. It's such an adrenaline rush that you've taken this thing and you've grown it, and someone's actually given you money for the first time. What the hell, and it's incredible. But the problem is you step off the precipice. You don't stop, and you don't think, and you just rush into things, and it's incredibly dangerous. And it's certainly the time that I had my greatest success and I had my greatest failures. I didn't stop. I didn't think, and then immediately I went into a business that I knew nothing about, and I lost a shitload of money as a result of it. And that was stupid. As soon as I went back into a business that I knew lots about, made lots of money again. And stopping is one of the hardest things to do. But if you don't stop, if you don't isolate yourself and take the time to begin the process, then you're in danger. I can say that I've stepped off the precipice twice. And every time it's without stopping and thinking, it's guaranteed failure. You know, so now with Stop, Think, Focus, Execute, which was in a book that we did about 30 years ago, which was awful, okay? But when I've been most successful, it's when I've stopped and thought and focused and executed. And when I've helped people to grow their businesses, that's what I've been doing with them. 90% of the time, you won't focus and execute on what you stopped and thought about, because it doesn't make any kind of sense. So that's okay, because at least you didn't spend the time and the money focusing and executing and failing.
Right.
And that's really what it's about.
I agree with you, and I would add to that, seeing the people you've talked to and the successful people that have heard of Stop, Think, Focus, Execute and can immediately understand and say, oh, absolutely, this applies to my career. But I've also seen you mentor much younger businesses through the Stop, Think, Focus, Execute program, and it's always valuable. And having that external guide makes a big difference. You can pinpoint things and say, here's what stopping really looks like, here's how it works. And these young businesses, these entrepreneurs, as well as the experienced ones, look at it and say, this is so simple, but it absolutely makes sense.
The reality is, I don't think I analyzed it as much as I have in the last 120 days, sitting down with great people, super successful people, and them telling me that their most successful times of their life is when they have followed those 4 steps.
Yeah.
It's great.
So imagine the success that's possible when you bring this as a conscious step and as a conscious way of stopping and thinking, the amount of success you're going to have as a result, because now it's intentional.
Yeah, and hopefully you can stop people from failing by getting them to do it.
Absolutely.
Failing isn't just about having the wrong business, it's having the right business, but not fulfilling properly, not doing this, not doing that, and all of a sudden your competitor rolls past you.
I would add to that, same with companies that have hit a point of growth or hit a point of success, but don't know how to get past it.
Yeah.
Right? We're doing well, but now what?
Yeah, that's right. Focus, execute, focus. Nothing's happening, okay?
Yeah.
You've got to stop and think again.
Yeah.
And that's really exactly what happens.
Yep.
Some of the testimonial videos, you know, speak for themselves. There's some awesome feedback from people.
So Phil, thank you for being on the other side of the Stop, Think, Focus, Execute interview table.
No, thank you. It was fun.
And thank you to everyone at home for watching Stop, Think, Focus, Execute. This has been an interview with Phil Bliss, the business visionary behind the program, with his stories and his expertise in how this works, because it does. I'm Celine Williams with Stop, Think, Focus, Execute. Until we see you next time.